I'm Pastor Boone, and I am a pastor. I'm also the founder of a nonprofit, Oaks Village. I was the founder of Oaks of Righteousness, which is a church, and we are a homeless shelter. We are a food pantry, a clothes closet, a soup kitchen, a free childcare center, a free medical clinic, and a nonprofit grocery store. I'm also a wife and a mother. So I've been in ministry for some years, and I got sent to Monroe 12 years ago, and I pastored a little small church, and I was there for about 3 years, but I really felt God was pressing me to stay in Monroe. So my husband and I, we made the decision to start our own church. And when we started our own church, we went to go buy a building, and the building it had a warming shelter in it at one point. So they were going to close the warming shelter. And I showed up one day and there was a homeless man laying on the ground. We were just going to look at the building. And I was thinking, wow, I'm taking this man's home away. I don't want to do that. So we bought the building and we decided to keep the warming shelter going. And in that time, the first year we served 91 people because they said it was just a few people. Well, 91 is not a few people to me. That's a huge number. And so since then, our numbers have went up and we've served hundreds of people. But during the time when, after we started the warming shelter, my husband and I, we made the decision to move into the warming shelter, the homeless shelter with the people to raise money so that we could eventually buy a bigger shelter, a bigger church so that we could expand the homeless shelter because we just could not deal with the fact that there were people living out on the street. So we moved into the homeless shelter. We lived right there with the people for 2 years. And then we bought another property. And when we bought this other property, we ended up going into the clothes closet, the food pantry. We started a food pantry. We did a lunch program. We just started expanding to more stuff because people would come into the shelter with like nothing but the clothes on their back. So we would get furniture, we would get clothes, we would get whatever just to kind of help people to get on their feet. And then we noticed that childcare was a huge issue. So that's what made us want to start the free childcare center. There is no one road that leads to homelessness. So people are there for so many different reasons. And so it's a humbling experience, but it's also an experience where you realize that these are people just like you, and we're all really just a few paychecks away from being in the same predicament. And we have expanded our shelter, so it's not just a warming shelter, it's a year-round 75-bed shelter where we, house sometimes up to 500 people a year. And so we do write for grants, but I'm also an unpaid pastor. So anything that I would make, I just put back in the ministry because I believe in this and I just want to see people reach their best life, people to be happy, to be whole, and to see people off the streets. In this community, we have so many volunteers. It is absolutely amazing. I have volunteer nurses, volunteer doctors, teachers, cooks. People who are retired, who've had extensive careers, people who are still working, who come and just volunteer hours. It has been amazing what this community has done. I love Monroe, and the people in this town have really stepped up. And I think if every town and every group, everywhere, every people in every community would do this, we could solve so many problems. And that's really just it. Just loving people as you love yourself, and just letting people know that they matter and they're important.